My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. And we also have Heidi today.
Hi. I'm here today too.
And we're getting a phone call at the same time. How about that? Anyway,
Actually, that's the camera in the cat room.
Oh, even better. Okay, so today we're going to continue. Today is Halloween. What is it? October 31st. So now it's been 11 days that Lola has not been here. And I want to continue with video journaling. And I'm not sure how many more of these I'll do, but then I'll go back into my regular programming. There's a couple of reasons why I want to do this. I want to continue with this. Number one, I'm doing it for myself, right? So I want to cope with my own feelings and my own grief. Number two, hopefully there's some other people out there that relate to this and it gives them a chance to see somebody else who's going through it. And I also want to normalize and destigmatize the feelings that come along with pet grief. How am I doing with that?
Good.
Because there's a couple of things I notice. And I've listened to a couple of people that I know who listen to the show. And they've been supportive, but they also throw in some really good things that I need to hear. Such as, it might be possible that when I say certain things, it can be offensive to certain people. Such as, you know, I can put it out there that I believe animals should be treated like human beings. And I think the grief is probably about equal. And it depends on the person as well. So I don't think any of us should judge anybody for the feelings that they have when there's a loss. And so I want to take a look at that. So one of the things I want to look at today is to look at the many ways our society actually does have more empathy and care and compassion for animals. And we live like this. But then when we lose one of our animals, all of a sudden it's like a lot of people, it's hands off. You're not allowed to feel bad about it. So I think that's a little bit hypocritical in our society. And if there's one thing I want to do on the show besides educate and teach and give people information, is to be able to speak the truth. Because it's not necessary to hide the truth, to make people feel good or to not have a backlash. Such as, I've actually lost subscribers since I started doing this pet grief, which tells me that more of it needs to be done because I think people are afraid to hear it. So I will continue to do it, and if I lose more, that's even better because I'm losing them then for the right reason. We have Heidi here today. She is holding flowers. Do you want to tell people about those?
Oh, these flowers were sent to the house on Friday from Las Vegas specialty emergency vet, where Lola was going for her oncology, her cancer treatment. So they were nice enough to send a, bouquet of flowers with their condolences. So that was super nice of them to do that and unexpected. But I mean, I wouldn't have expected to get flowers, but it was a nice surprise.
It's nice. And one of the things that how they treat you really well at what's the name of the place again?
Las Vegas Specialty Vets.
Is that I would go in and bring Lola, and I'm sure this happened to Heidi too, but I'm just going by my experience. But they would say the patient, and I would have to put Lola Peroni. Did they have to do that with you too? And so they would ask you how your baby is doing, or how your, in our sense, how your girl is doing. And I thought that is a really good service. I know that they go to school for years to be educated, to be able to, with the veterinary side of it. But that extra added touch to be able to treat you like this is super important to you, and it is. I really thought that was great. Did you notice that too?
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of respect for the ownership, the owners of their pets, and the way that they treated. They have a lot of compassion and empathy over there.
Yeah, I thought that it was great. So let me take the flowers. You don't have to keep holding that. One more time. This is what they look like.
They're pretty.
Pretty awesome. And I've got my Pug Shirt on today. This shirt also, I got it maybe 12 years ago, so it's disappearing.
It's pretty worn off.
It actually had other writing and stuff on it.
The writing's kind of gone, but the pug's still there.
Yeah. The first clue that I'm gonna make Heidi do this now. We're gonna try to prove how much empathy and care and how much do our dogs or cats take up in our life compared to people. So Heidi, if you will, you don't know. Let's see your phone. I want to take out the pictures you have.
Oh, the pictures?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's take a look at some of the pictures. Kind of scroll. So what do you call that again?
My wallpaper.
What is your wallpaper?
It's Lola and myself.
There you go. Is it me?
So whenever I open,
No.
I look at my phone.
Now, keep in mind, I've been a fitness model. I've modeled for like every major magazine. I've won every bodybuilding show you could think of. You think maybe you want to have some pictures of me?
Well,
oh, no.
No.
Now, go through your pictures real quick and tell me who shows up in your pictures 99% of the time.
My dogs.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Tell them who.
Lola and
Lola, Kubi,
Nelson, and
Nelson.
now our cat. We have a cat.
And a cat. We've had a cat for a year, and you have more pictures of the cat in 1 year than you have of me for 14 years.
That's not true. I was just going through all these pictures. There's a lot of you in there.
Now, to be fair, we're recording this on my phone, so I can't show you the pictures. But to be honest, I would say a good 85 to 90% of my pictures are of Lola.
So therefore, he doesn't have pictures of me on his phone either.
No, I do, just at a very small percentage compared to Lola. Listen, this is all I'm saying is that I want to make this show, like, it's about an important subject, right? We're talking about grief, but I want to make it, like, a little bit fun. And to be honest, is that when you lose a pet, they feel bad because they're not... I mean, obviously they feel bad because they lost the pet, but they also feel bad because society puts you in this position where it's like, you need to get over it. Why do you feel that way? It's only an animal. And it's like, that's not the way you run your life, though.
No.
You're with me, and all your pictures are of, oh, she's so cute, taken, right? And I get it. I understand it. And if anybody out there is listening, I dare you, if you have animals, go through your pictures and you tell me if you have more pictures of your husband or your wife eating or walking, or you have more pictures of your animals. I guarantee you have more pictures of your animals. Does that make them more important? Hate to tell you, but in some way, I would say yes.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't go, oh my God, you're sleeping, you're so cute. Let me take a picture of you. You don't do that. But every morning you send me a picture of Lola, or you sent me a picture of Lola eating, right? Mm-hmm. Did you ever think of sending anybody a picture of me eating?
No.
No, of course not. Who cares, right? That doesn't matter. So I'll tell you a quick story also that happened to me this week. So I've been a little bit lonely, so I would go to the bank a couple of times a week, and I took the other two dogs, Kubi the Chow and Nelson, who's a part pit bull and part retriever. I guess he looks like a Vizsla, but we'll call it.
Yeah.
And so they got their heads out the window, of course, as they do. So I'm trying to go to the bank, the outside, where the bank teller, whatever the heck you call that. And they got their heads out, so it's really hard to get close to where you're supposed to grab that canister. And I'm like trying to get them to get their heads back in so I can drive up close. Now, understand, I've been at this bank now for like 18 years. They know me. There's a girl on the microphone, and she goes, Mr. Peroni, I really love your dogs. They look so cute. Now, understand, again, I have never in 18 years heard one woman go, Mr. Peroni, you look really good today. I've never heard that. Never. Not once. I mean, sometimes I go in and I'm totally tan and I've already won a bodybuilding show, and I come in and they go, can I help you? That's it. But when I drive up with dogs, they go, oh my God. And then I heard a different voice. Because every girl in the place wanted to see the Chow sticking his head out the window. So another one, Mr. Peroni, I really love your Chow. Is that a Chow? Yes, it is. So 3 different girls this week got on the microphone at the bank to tell me how awesome my dogs looked. I have never heard a girl out of nowhere go, Mr. Peroni, you look really nice today. Never heard that. Never. So again, we notice the beauty of a dog. Can you notice the beauty of a human? Maybe. But do you feel okay to say it? Probably not. So again, dogs bring out that other part that you're allowed to speak. You're allowed to say, oh my God, you look so good. Whereas with a person, you're probably not going to do that. So again, in society, I was elevated because of my dogs, really. Let's take a look at this. I like to watch movies. Heidi, you like movies, right?
I do.
All right, so let's take a look at movies in general where it's Halloween. We watched Halloween last night, a bunch of slasher stuff. Not my favorite. The original was much better, but that's beside the point. Look at how many movies there are that deal with killers. Look at how many movies with in the war movies, military. How many are like these, oh God, like these Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where everybody's getting shot and killed all over the place? Mm-hmm. Are you okay with a bunch of hundreds, thousands of people getting killed in movies?
No, but you know.
No? All right. I mean, most people just watch it as entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. Like you just see a bunch of people get killed. I mean, that's what these movies are. Transformers and all these things are getting blown up to pieces and buildings collapsing. Okay, show me one dog that gets shot in one of these movies, and what does everybody do? Oh my God, you can't do that. Or in these Westerns, you know, when people are getting shot, if it looks like a horse gets shot and the horse falls over, everybody's like, oh, you can't do that, it's an animal. So again, when we have one of our personal animals die, people are like, well, it's only an animal. But yet our society is not like that. You watch movies and you do anything that looks torturous or an animal dies, everybody's up in arms. And I am too, by the way. I'm not saying that they should. But if you ever read at the end, you know, the credits, it'll say no animals were harmed here. Yeah. It doesn't say no humans were harmed. I mean, how many times did you watch, I can't think of his name right now, a lot of these karate guys, and then they'll show you the clips at the end where they broke their ankle in the middle of the movie, and we watch it as entertainment. We're like, oh wow, he broke his ankle, that's so awesome. You know, and it's like, hold it, you're not going to show a picture of a German Shepherd with a broken leg and go, oh, that was a great scene. You don't do that. Let me name some other examples.
We're desensitized by humans killing, but we're not, we haven't become, desensitized yet of animals being killed.
Right, and I don't want it to be that way. I mean, think about all these people, not to get political for a second, but, you know, all these people leaving Afghanistan. You know, as people were up in arms about the dogs that were left there. So was I, by the way. But I'm just saying, it's interesting how it's like, where are the dogs? Where are the dogs? Where are the military dogs? How are we taking care of them? Well, because they should be taken care of. But sometimes with people, it's like, you know, if they didn't hurt that person, they probably hurt somebody else, because we know how people are.
Well, I think it's because the people know that dogs are so dependent on them.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
So here's another example I was thinking of. Let's say you're at a coffee shop, and let's say you're in a place like Las Vegas. It's 110 degrees in the summer. So you're sitting there inside in the air conditioning, drinking a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you got. Outside, you see that there's a homeless guy with a homeless dog. Now, I've seen this. This is why I'm mentioning this. So somebody thinks, oh, I know. I'm going to get some water and fill it with a lot of ice, and I'm going to go out there. Who do you think that they give the water to?
The dog.
Absolutely. That's what I've seen. Have you? I mean, when you see a homeless person with a dog, typically, I don't know about you, I'll ask you on it, but I think, wow, this is why people love dogs so much, because the dog doesn't go, look at this person, homeless, he can't take care of me. The dog doesn't think that. They are 100% loyal to that person. And the people who are walking by, they look at the person like, not everybody, but a lot of people will go, okay, what kind of drugs do you want? What did you do to get in that position? Why don't you work hard enough? You know, these types of things. But they look at the dog with empathy. And if they have extra food, they hand it to the dog. Am I wrong?
No.
Have you noticed that?
I've seen it happen a lot of times.
So again, just another reason or a way that we show more empathy, love, and care for animals. But when they die on a personal basis, all of a sudden we're like, oh, you know, it's only a dog. What are you talking about? You know, let me name it.
I think people, though, not to interrupt you, but I think people that would say it's only a dog are people that really don't have a connection with animals. They're people that don't own a dog, never had a pet, and they can't really, you know, relate to why somebody would fall apart over an animal that passes away, or even in the sense that, oh, animals are, oh, you know, whatever, they don't like them or they don't have them. Most people I know that have pets, they kind of get it. You know, they understand when you lose a pet. They go, yeah, that's a tough thing to go through. I still miss my, you know, dog that died a year ago. You know, so.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think people who have cats, dogs, or horses, or whatever, they could understand more. I think part of what I want to do is to make it more okay for people to feel what they need to feel. Because over and over again, I will read about people going through this, and over they'll say it's like they can't talk to people that much because they feel like it's somehow disrespectful to human beings, or if you've lost somebody in your family, and it's like, well, can you compare it to losing your mother and father? Listen, who am I to judge? You know, I don't know. Maybe your father was the biggest jerk in the world. I don't know. Maybe you didn't really know your father, so, or whatever the case may be. But animals make a big difference in your life. Let me name another one that I was thinking of, and unfortunately 11 days ago we had to go through this. Let's talk about euthanasia. At the very end there, again, when I got Lola, I made this pact with myself that I was never, if it was in my capabilities, that I was not going to let her have any pain in her life. And at the very end, it made sense to euthanize her, and that's what we did, and it saved her from having to die in, you know, anxiety and pain. Which leads me to think, why are we not really allowed to do this with people? Now, don't quote me on this because I'm not an expert, but I believe you might be able to do it in some states. I don't know. Somebody, if you want to comment, you can correct me or educate me on that. I'm not sure. So, but for the most part, I believe through the United States, you can't euthanize people legally. I mean, I do know that doctors up the morphine, and technically they are snowing them. They are doing that, but you're not really allowed to say that. So what do you think about that? Like, why do we offer dogs and cats and animals that we care about the gift of not experiencing extreme pain that will never go away? Like, we can take it away from our animals, but with human beings, well, we let them just suffer.
The animals, I think, are totally dependent their whole lives, and when you come down to it, most humans don't trust other humans as much as they do their own dogs. So if you left euthanasia in the hands of certain people, they will abuse it, because that's how human nature is. So with, you know, an animal, most people aren't going to euthanize their animal for no reason. You know, because they don't really because most people, it's because of greed, money, things that they can acquire when somebody dies. So in that sense, you have to be careful, because if it was that easy to, euthanize a human, I think there'd be a lot more people dying by the hands of their family members.
So just to be clear, so that we're all on the same page here, what you're saying is, I think, correct me, is that we don't necessarily want to have euthanasia for people, and it's okay to put people through incredible suffering, because human beings will abuse euthanasia and will end up killing our relatives unnecessarily for their money.
I mean, that could be
right?
that could be a reason, yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, without knowing it, you're making my point, is that a lot of people suck, and animals tend to be much higher up on the scale. Again, we can't have euthanasia. One of the reasons is because of that, because it's going to get abused. People are going to be getting murdered left and right. Whereas with dogs, you assume most of the time, I mean, I would imagine there's a little percentage. I don't know what percentage it would be. But you would think that most human beings that own dogs and cats would be much more responsible for their animals than they are for the people in their life. That is just such a condemnation of human beings in general when you think about it, right? And the other thing I was thinking, I think of so many things. That's why I want to do this video journaling. I got a million swirling thoughts. When Lola died, she owned nothing. The things that she has is a collar, a leash, and a small little bowl. That's pretty much it of her things that she had. That was hers, so to speak. The only thing that she gave in life was everything, which was love and love and love again and love more. Now, when you look at people, and I've been there, I've had family members die. One of the things that really bothers me, besides the fact when people die, is the running towards the bank accounts of the people who die. The trying to get people off of their will. It's insane. The amount of love that I've seen when somebody dies is not really about love. It's about, oh my God, it's so sad, and there is love, and there's a disconnection of the attachment of love, but then it's like, where's the money? And my family has been split into 50 million pieces throughout the years since I've been a kid, all the way up to now at my age of 56, of people doing whatever they can to get the last ring, the last bit of jewelry, the last, whose name is on this, whose name is on that. Let's see if I can make somebody sign off on insurance papers when their mind isn't there anymore. Lawyers being called in. So I understand my experience is not everybody's experience, but my experience counts because it's mine. I'm wondering what you think about that. Have you seen that? Whereas when you see a dog, it's pure love, and then there's a disconnect to the life and to the love that you shared. But after that, that's it. With humans, it's always about where's the money, where's the money?
Well, it seems that when a lot of people die, that seems to go that way, at least in my family and other people's experiences.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason.
Break out over money and property and, whatever else, so yeah.
So another quick subject change here. The other thing I was thinking of is how Lola fought every day. She was diagnosed with cancer November 3rd last year, 2020. And I don't want to go over all of it, but she had the first chop treatment was 6 months long and 16 different treatment sessions. But this is the thing that interests me so much on that. Is Nietzsche said this, is that animals, human beings are the only animals that they have to be encouraged to live. And you look at that, I look at a little girl like Lola, such a big heart, wanting to live every day and pushing herself every day. I think there was a Viking proverb a long time ago that said, even the lamest man, if forced to, will walk. And I don't even know if that's true, because as a therapist, I can tell you, I have worked as hard as a therapist could work with people, trying to instill some type of change, trying to motivate, inspire some type of change. Do they? Most therapists work harder than the clients do. And I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying that I don't have amazing clients, but at some level, when we have meetings, it very much comes down to, why don't people change? Why? They do the minimum in their lives. They treat themselves poorly. They treat other people poorly. They know that their behaviors are wrong, bad, destructive to themselves, other people, society. Do they care? Not much. Do they have direction in their life? Goals? It's hard to make treatment plans with people with goals when they have no goals. So a lot of times as a therapist, you have to try to make up goals for them. Wouldn't you like to get a job? Wouldn't you like to stop drinking every day? Wouldn't you like to stop treating your parents like garbage? Wouldn't you like to stop stealing or lying or whatever the heck? And the answer to that is almost always no. They have massive anger issues, poor decisions, no boundaries. It's hard to get people to do anything, to advocate for their own lives. Now, when you look at, one of the things I'm thinking of, and Heidi doesn't know I'm going to bring up this story, but this was a lot of years ago. We had a dog named Samurai. He was a Chow. Chows are very, very fierce, loyal, protective dogs. I was at school, And at this time, he couldn't really use his back legs very well. So Heidi would bring him up the stairs and put him near the bed. And she would, you know, do whatever she was going to do. And she calls me at school. Do you remember this?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll remind you. So she calls me and says that Samurai is crying. He's barking. And I'm like, well, I don't think he's in pain. Let's figure it out. So I said, which way is he facing? Because he can't get up anymore. He can't jump up real quick and run, you know, to go after somebody or to bark or to protect. So he was just sitting in that one place. I said, which way is he facing? And Heidi says, well, he's facing me. I said, well, that's why he's crying, because he can't protect you. If you turn his body around towards the door, he will feel like he has a sense of meaning and purpose, that he is protecting you. He was crying not for him, but he was crying that he couldn't protect you. Try it out. So you turn him around. What happened?
He stopped crying.
He stopped crying. So what I'm saying is, even animals that are in pain, that are hurting, that are losing their faculties, not even being able to walk, still want to please their families. And then yet you get clients every day and you're like, come on, what would you like to work on today? And they go, nothing. Like, really? Really? Your life is perfect? Your life is going well? Do you see everybody running around you, helping you, and you're not getting anywhere? No, things are cool. I'm good. You know, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but man, do you see it so much? I'm working with people that are coming out of the prison system now, and it's like, well, you don't want to be like Dr. Phil and go like, so how's that working for you? You know, it's a little bit demeaning, but they'll do it. They'll go, well, that person looked at me. They looked at you. Okay, so what happened? I punched them in the face. Like, really? You punch people in the face because they look at you? You know, they disrespected me. It's like, oh my God, like, can we please learn something? So I guess what I'm saying here is that you see this little dog fighting. She ended up dying of probably of congestive heart failure. So she was coughing. She had trouble breathing. But I swear, and Heidi will tell you the same, she would run up those stairs to go to bed at night at the same time every day to go to sleep on my pillow. And the funny part is, as she was running, she was coughing. Now, it wasn't a cough. This is congestive heart failure she was pushing through. She would want to go for walks. I was going to bring it up, but I've got, Heidi took a picture of Lola when I was running late. And she would stand right at the door, at the gate, looking outside. And she wouldn't look left or right. She'd be looking straight out that door, going, I'm going to the park. Like, where's my dad? We're going to the park. I don't know where he is, but he's going to be here soon, and we're going to the park. Meanwhile, she's coughing, meaning she's dying of congestive heart failure and has cancer, and yet is still trying to go to the park. She's still trying to play with the other dogs. She's still trying to climb up on the couch. She's still bugging me for food. And I know this sounds weird, but I'm going to say it anyway. Even when she was sick on those times, she would throw up. Now, I know dogs do this instinctually. I get it. But she would throw up, and I go, oh, I got to go clean it up. By the time I went there, she's trying to eat it already. And it's like, I know that sounds a little weird and disgusting, but here's the point. During her cancer treatment, she never lost any weight. Why? Because she struggled all the time to continue to eat. She was trying to live. You look at a person and they're like, oh my God, my stomach hurts. I'm not going to eat. Oh, I have a headache. I'm not going to eat. Like, listen, if you have a mouth, chew, swallow, eat. I don't care if you throw it up 50 times. Like, dogs and animals, they don't care. They keep trying and they keep pushing to move forward. And I was so inspired by her. And actually, to be honest, I'm inspired by all the dogs we've had. Like, not one of them ever backed up. Yet when I see people, I'm like, they're so wimpy and they're so, I mean, you ever see someone who's got a little bit of a headache and they're like, oh, I want to be alone. Leave me alone. It's like, you have a headache. Like, these dogs are dying of cancer and heart failure. And I've seen dogs, like, and yet they're still, to their dying breath, are like, hey, let's hang out. Can I be with you? Rub my belly. You know, I forgot who said, I think it was Marcus Aurelius, and said, you know, listen, we're all going to die, but you don't have to die whining. You know, and that's, you know, I look at that and I go, can human beings live up to that though? I don't think so. I think dogs do, cats do, maybe other animals do. I'm just not, I don't know really any other animals. But I do notice that, you know, she pushed until the end through everything, you know, without any, it seemed like without any thought of stopping. You know, that's why on that last day, I knew when she, you know, when she didn't have enough strength to stand up, I'm like, oh my God, like this is a problem. Whereas when people, they complain all the time. You know, animals don't do that. They have a lot more heart and soul than human beings do. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to, you know, remember the end there and be like, wow, she was trying so hard. You know, so do you have any thoughts on that?
I feel the dogs that they do work harder, and I think that they do things too because they forever want to be, you know, in service, you know, of their owners. So they fight, they do the best that they can until they can't.
Yeah.
Because they want to please their owners, and, you know, that's what they're part of their loyalty. That's why they're loyal, because they're at your service. And what's ironic is when they get sick, how much you serviced her towards the end there. You know, you took care of her. Yeah,
but it was funny too. She still advocated for herself. I'll never forget. There was one time when she ate her dinner and she always got a treat afterwards, but for some reason she didn't want it then, or she didn't ask for it. And I just kind of said, okay, so let's go to bed. She just stood there on all fours next to the pillow and she starts hitting me. And I thought, okay, this is going to be funny. I'm just going to let her do it. So then she starts hitting me harder. And then she starts putting the nail in and going,
yeah.
What she wanted is, she wanted me to take her back downstairs because, oh, I forgot, she needed her liverwurst.
Oh, God. Yeah, she would stand over you when you were sleeping like a stalker pug, and she'd just stare at you.
And as soon as she ate, I don't know, it was like 6-7 pieces of liverwurst, I put her back upstairs on the pillow, boom, right back to sleep, no problem. That's all. Like, she'll tell you exactly what she needs. And I just think that's so funny.
No guessing.
Yeah, and again, she was advocating for herself right to the very end, no matter what. Which I thought was, you know, it's amazing. When I see people, I'm like, listen, can you please advocate for yourself? Like, why do I have to do all the work?
I don't know. But animals are just 100% loyal. They're unconditional. They live in, I think the big secret would be they live in the present.
Right.
You know, they don't think too much about their past, even if they came from an abusive, you know, start. And they know how to forgive. They don't have anxiety because they don't think about what the future is. They don't think past what's today, you know. So I think that's a lot of it too.
So let me leave with this, unless you have some other things to say, but Lola's legacy has already started. Nelson, who is a survivor because he was a rescue, he knows how to watch and observe, and he can really figure out ways to get food. Now, I've told you many times that Lola would come over to me and start hitting me for food. So now, guess what? Lola's not there, so guess who takes her place? So now I got Nelson comes over to me, and he looks at me, does the same look that Lola did, and he's like practicing. He tries to do the head tilt. You know? He puts up his paw, and he starts to nudge on me. And he looks, and he goes, does that work? So then I fed him. Then all of a sudden now he's doing it like every day. So
I think she had a talk with Nelson before and said, well, now this is how you got to do it when I'm not here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how dogs communicate? I mean, I think Lola, the last day, said, okay, so listen, this is how you get him to, you train him. What you're going to have to do is, because he likes to give you food. So touch him again. If he doesn't move, take your nails, rub it right down his knee, and he'll give you all the food you want. So Nelson is now taking over for Lola in the food department.
Yeah.
And he's sleeping on the bed too, but he's kind of afraid to go up towards me for some reason. He stays by my feet, so I don't know why that is, but that might change. Anyway, you have anything to add before we end?
No, just still miss her.
Okay, so this has been the Rise Above project. We're going to end it here. I might do one other show. I'm not really sure. We haven't gotten Lola's ashes back yet or anything. So, you know, whether somebody wants to listen to it or not, that's fine. There's other things, but I think I want to record it for myself. And, right?
Yeah.
So I want to do that. That's so Lola will be coming home. So it's not complete, at least in my brain, until that happens. And so I think we'll do a show on that one more time. Thanks for everybody for getting flowers.
And subscribe to the Rise Above project.
Oh,
and put your
thank you.
comments down on the videos. So if you want to see different types of videos or you're enjoying what you're seeing, you know, some critique would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you.